likes freedoms. When your freedoms are taken away, you don't like it as much. The issue arises when you don't know that your freedoms are being taken away, because a lot of people are ignorant to the fact that their freedoms are gone. Welcome back to the podcast, boys. We're talking value today. We're going to bring you value, and we're going to talk about value, all right? As much value as we can get from this podcast, as much value as you can get. We want to give so you can get, all right? It is a season of giving, right? We're moving into the holiday season. Thanksgiving's coming around. We're going to give thanks. Christmas is coming around. We're going to give presents, all of this stuff. We're going to give, all right? Speaking of giving, this is episode 52. We've officially given you 52 podcasts that you can go back and listen to, all of them, right?
I'd like to make clear that it was probably my least favorite intro you've ever done. The whole give thing.
Give.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you stated it for the record.
So to make it known I wasn't part of that.
Okay. No, so it's episode 52 of the podcast. Yes, we're back. The Rift. We're here for every Monday and Friday. So if you want to instead take, like Parker does, take all the fun out of my intro, then you can take as much as you want. Okay, I'm going to continue to give around here. But I want to talk value. Okay, that's the reason why I started with giving. So I went hunting this past weekend. Okay, I go hunt. Obviously, it's hunting season. Went hunting a little bit back, elk hunting. But now that season's like September. Now this season, kind of around Thanksgiving and stuff, is whitetail. Right, we're in Texas. We do a lot of whitetail hunting, and I don't know. I feel like North America, everyone knows what a whitetail is. Maybe, probably not. How many people do you think like in the city know what a whitetail is?
I feel like it's not a lot in North.
Yeah. Actually, the North. Oh yeah, North have like blacktail, I think.
Yeah, I'm thinking like North, like city North, like New York.
Yeah, New York. They don't even know it. They just think it's a deer, like Bambi.
Yeah.
You know. So as whitetail hunting is basically a deer, Bambi. But we're not. We wait for the mature ones, whatever. So hunting is patience, right? Patience is the name of the game. You sit there and you wait, and that's it. And you got to be very, very quiet, very still, and you have to get there very early when the sun's down and it comes up, because deer are more like nocturnal animals. They start running around at nighttime where they're more active, because I think it's colder then, and they like being cold, and they bed down during the day. So you have to be there early in the morning or late at night, and you sit there by yourself, not doing anything except for thinking. Okay, so there's a lot of thinking that happens when you're hunting. Well, I was thinking specifically about finances, about money, right? As a lot of people do, I think. They think about money, right? Not only how to make money, how to preserve money, how to build money, how money is different than wealth. And then I started thinking, because I'm avid, right, with finances, or I guess a little bit. Back in, I got into it a little bit during the GameStop stuff, AMC, all of that, right? Learned a little bit about investment, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, treasuries, whatever. Like I got a decent grasp in it. So as I'm thinking, I'm trying to figure out what is value. Is money valuable, right? Because everyone's like, I want to make money. Well, what if money wasn't valuable, right? What if we're all chasing this thing that isn't really a thing that you need to be chasing, right? I mean, you probably find yourself doing this. I know I find myself doing that. Like, do you ever actively like think, I want to make a lot of money?
I mean, yes, but also like I think I see where you're going with this. I'll let you get there before I expose it. But
I'm not saying we need to stop chasing money. I'm not saying that.
No, I know. But I think you're like you're saying to like look deeper. But sort of. But like I don't know how I see it. It's kind of like how because we talked partially about this the other day, and like some things. It's almost like it's just like too deep. And I'm like, I think a base level like this isn't going to affect me in my lifetime.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I am. Like,
So it comes down to freedoms, right? Do you like your freedoms?
you asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Do you need the answer?
I mean, I like it because it carries on the conversation.
Yes, Jake. I like my
Okay,
freedoms.
you like your freedoms. Good. I would think most people would answer yes to that, right? I would hope so. Everyone likes freedoms. When your freedoms are taken away, you don't like it as much. The issue arises when you don't know that your freedoms are being taken away, okay? Because a lot of people are ignorant to the fact that their freedoms are gone. They are not free. See, when you have to wake up and you have to go to a job at 9 o'clock in the morning, you have to do that. You are not a free person. You aren't. Yes, you quote unquote, you have the free will to leave that job, okay? But then what about your bills that you have to pay? What about your rent that you have to pay? Otherwise, you get kicked out of the house, right? What about the groceries that you have to pay for, or the debt that you got in, right? You see, all this stuff hangs with you. And it's a constant drag on your moralities, right? Because you begin to become desperate, right, to get out of this because you know in a deep subconscious level that you are not free. You are held down. There are bags that are holding you down, tying you down. And it's debt. It's an obligation to a higher authority, right? Whether that's a boss, whether that's some person of seniority in your company or whatever it may be, right? All of these things bring less freedom to your life. And what the quote-unquote money does, it allows you to experience more freedoms, right? Because if your boss says, hey, I need you here at 9 o'clock, you say, how about I get there at 10? He says, well, how about I fire you? All right, cool. Fire me. Because guess what? I got enough money where I don't need this job, right? So you have the freedom and then what it's called is the fuck you money, right? I'm gonna go do my own shit, right? I don't need you to tell me what I need to do. I'm gonna go do it because I have the freedom to do so and the willpower to do so. And so money ultimately comes down to freedom, and a lack of money is a lack of freedom. And a lot of people, that's where I think it gets lost, where everyone likes freedom. They like the idea of it, right? I'm going to live in America so I can be free. I can live the American dream. The American dream is dying. It is almost dead at this point, right? The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and it comes down to that root problem, which is greed and money.
Because it's hard to say, though, because I think there's two different kinds of freedoms. Like, the freedom that you have when you're wealthy is like a personal freedom. So, like, I think freedom, like, granted to you by a government is different than that kind of freedom. For the instance of... Hold on, I just lost my train. Yeah, say what you're about to say, because I need to think.
Yeah, so I was going to say that freedom then comes... If you have enough money to buy, like Elon Musk has very much freedom because he can send a nuke if he wants to. So guess what? He's got a lot of freedom in the fact that he can control populations. He can create a militia himself because he has the freedom of funds to give to people where he can now, freedom comes with power, right? So government has power, thus it can distribute freedom however it wants to. Right? Because the power is in the army. Ultimately, it comes down, how much freedom do you have if someone is holding a squirt gun at your head? Right?
Yeah. I guess that's what I was saying was, like you said, the American dream is dying, but, like, would you say you're living the American dream to an extent? Like, more than the average American?
No, because what the American dream is when you come from another country into here with nothing. And you build yourself from nothing.
Oh yeah, but like when they're like they say they're going for their American dream, I mean,
well, that's a different thing. Like the white picket fence, 10 acres.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, like I guess what I'm saying is like the government, like they're not really taking any freedoms away because they still give you you still have the option to do that. like option to do what we're doing, but they just teach differently to make you not pursue that.
So I'll tell you, that you ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
And how they reveal the cloak,
Yeah.
and it's not really a wizard or
Yeah.
anything? That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Wizard of Oz, with the freedom that you have. But when you reveal the cloak and you see that the government is in $33 trillion of debt, and that money, that freedom, is really nothing, there's nothing there, then you'll understand that, oh, this wizard that I worshipped, or whatever it was, is nothing. There's nothing behind this. And essentially you come down, when is, like, because the cloak hasn't been revealed. We haven't pulled the curtains yet, right? It technically hasn't. Or some people have, and they peeked around. They're like, yeah, we're just going to leave that curtain closed, right? Because we like worshiping this wizard, right? Because the wizard is kind of on my team a little bit, like, so it's fine. So we're just going to let everyone else see the wizard, right? We don't want to fully open it up, because then now everyone sees, and now there's an issue because now the power is gone. Boom, poof.
I guess my thing is, so like the people who like are successful right now, who are like in their prime success, I guess you'd like
Who would that be?
like Mark Cuban.
Okay, so
So like Mark Cuban right now, I'd say like he worked for all his money. I think he's happy where he is.
So pause. He doesn't have money. He has assets.
Well, yeah, but he had to work to get money to obtain those assets, and
he worked to build a company that has a evaluation of the value that it creates, which in turn can be tied to money. But money is not, like, his quote unquote net worth just translates the amount of value that he's providing, right, to the average person. Because the money's worthless. The money, all it does, like, no one should hold money or cash, because that is false, it is fake, and it is going to be here and there, right? Where he holds value is in the company that he built, right? And the amount of companies, because obviously he was on Shark Tank, and he has, like, those products. Heck, we have, what are those, Scrub Daddy or something? Isn't that what it's called? The little sponge or whatever. Like, we have one of those over there, and I'm pretty sure he owns a big majority in that company. And so that's providing us value, so we gave them value, right, through currency, through money. And then they took that and then reinvested into the company to build more, or bought machines, or bought food, or something like that, right? So ultimately it comes down to, once again, we're chasing money, but money doesn't hold value or has no value, right? All it is a translation from something that is valuable to something else that is valuable, right? That's what currency is. And so I started thinking, what is value? What holds value? Oh, those lights just changed.
Oh yeah.
That means we're recording this later at night. That's my red light. It means that we're about to go to bed. But no, so, like, what holds value, right? So I started breaking down, and I'm like, okay, really and truly, when you go through everything, like, money doesn't hold value. Then you go to, like, gold, because gold was a currency used. And it's like, well, do I need gold personally? Like, do I think gold is valuable for me? Not, like, in society, but just for me in general. And I'm like, no, it's just rocks. Gold's just rocks. Like, if I had gold right here, it'd just be a real rock. And what do I do? Like, how is that valuable? I don't know what to do with it. I guess you make, like, armor out of it, maybe. I don't know. It's Minecraft or something. So I'm like, well, that holds no value to me. So I don't need gold. So I'm like, what? And maybe it's what's valuable to me, or what I think the masses holds value. And I got down to land, real estate, right? And not houses, because houses are depreciating assets, meaning they're going to break down. This place that we're in, if it's not maintained, then it's going to fall apart. The weather's going to destroy it. So you need something that, like a mountain. Like you own 30,000 acres, you got a lot of value in that, right? Because so long as you can protect it, it can't get destroyed. It can't, like, people are going to need a place to stay. You need food, water, and shelter. Well, food is going to go, it's going to rot, so you can't hold value in that. Water is abundant. There's water everywhere. Freaking rain today. There's water out there. So that's not valuable because there's a lot of it. Shelter, there's 8 billion people in the world, and it is starting to become thinner and thinner. Right? Not saying that it's going to, and we need to go the other way, and just, you know, it's a whole different topic in itself. But real estate, especially real estate in good areas, good locations, right? Like you get that real estate where you're like looking over mountains. That holds value. So I'm like, maybe I need to, like I'm a real estate agent. I'm not trying to sell anybody on anything, but by God, maybe with real estate, maybe the part, we need to venture down that path a little bit more, right? Which I love. I mean, I love real estate. It's like this software industry and all of this stuff that's being built on debt, on credit, on technology, on ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, stock trading, whatever it may be, right? All this stuff is a lot where it just goes back to your roots and like values held in real estate, really.
But wouldn't you have to say that? Because you can't just go, instead of saying like, all right, instead of chasing money, I'm going to chase real estate, because you have to work for the money to get the real estate. So, like, yes, I guess you're not necessarily saying don't chase money. You're saying don't chase money and then hold the money.
Well, so, I mean, if you want actionable steps, what I'm saying, I mean, what I was kind of saying in this podcast is the fact that I was thinking and these thoughts led me to the truth, which is the fact that what we think we're chasing is not real. And instead of chasing money, try to give more. Okay? Yes, for sure. Because what brings me happiness, the most happiness, is when I give to other people. Right? Because yes, real estate is great, and that's where you hold your value. But how do you get value yourself? Well, it comes down, it was Newton's third law of physics. A force acted upon will retract equal and opposite force, right? So if you give, you will likely get, right? You giveth, then you shall receiveth. So the more value that you give to other people, the more you help people out, the more you help someone cross the street, or you have this value that is currency, but you donate it to charity, right? Or you give a Thanksgiving dinner to a friend or family member who may be struggling, right? Something like that, you will receive more from that than you will any other time trying to chase money and chase that quick buck, right? Scamming your friends because, you know, maybe you thought that Bitcoin or that cryptocurrency deal was going to go well, but you knew really deep down that it wasn't, but I can make some money on this, right? Or I'm going to sell them this t-shirt because I'm going to get an affiliate link, right? All of this stuff is chasing money, chasing something that's not real. Whereas the real root of value comes from, I mean, it's a cliche, but comes from within, right? Comes from emitting a frequency that is high positivity levels, because then you get that right back. So, I mean, Parker, what do you think about that? Did you know I was going to go there?
And I was trying to think of, what's the, he's not a god. He's like is it Godsey? Or
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
I was going to say you sound like, it's like the guy that just preaches about.
Oh, you're talking Gandhi.
Gandhi. Yeah, Gandhi. I couldn't think of his name, yeah.
You're talking the monk?
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. I'm turned to a monk. I'm going to be 70 years old and be a monk. We're going to be on this podcast one Friday. I'm going to be 73 years old with just a beard and just very stoic. But let's get me down the road because, guys, we're still going to be here, all right? Every Monday and Friday we continue to do it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If I got too deep and philosophical for you, let me know in the comment sections. Otherwise, if you enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button, guys. Catch you in the next one. Peace.